Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Pleased to see you at the conference on cross-cultural interaction between Russia and the UK. The theme of today's session is Holiday That Unite. To my mind, this subject is very urgent as the year of 2014 is declared the year of British culture in Russia and the year of Russian culture in Britain. The way people celebrate this that holiday can tell much about their national character and the way of life. We'll try to find out if we have something in common between our nations and holiday traditions. It may help us become closer and friendly. I propose to organize our work in the form of discussion. Your marks and questions are only welcomed. First of all, have a look at the holiday calendars of our two countries. As you can see, there are more public holidays in Russia than in the UK. There are 8 holidays in the Russian Federation and 12 non-working days. There are New Year's Day, Christmas Day, the Day of the Nations Defended, International Women's Day, the holiday of Spring and Labor, Victory Day, Russia's Day, and the Day of National Solidarity. There are only 6 public holidays in the UK. Christmas Day, Good Friday, Easter, Spring Bank Holiday, and late Summer Bank Holiday, and of course Boxing Day.
So let us begin with discussing the most important holiday for many people, Christmas Day, which has been celebrated from the earliest day of recorded history. It is celebrated on the 25th of December in Great Britain and Russia. Orthodox Christmas is celebrated 13 days after the Catholic one on the 7th January, because the Russian Orthodox Church celebrates its Christmas in accordance with the old Julian calendar.
What are the origins of this holiday?
The Christmas story comes from the Bible and connected with Jesus Christ's birth. An angel appeared to shepherds and told them the Savior had been born in Bethlehem. 3 wise men from east followed a wondrous star, which led them to the baby Jesus, whom they presented gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Are there any Christmas traditions common for our both countries?
There are lots. On Christmas Eve, church hold a carol service where special hymns are sung. Then people carrying candles and lanterns around the church. Just as their grandparents and great-grandparents did long ago. In Russia, this kind of procession is called the Krasny Hod, and it is led by high-ranking members of the Russian Orthodox Church.
It was once also a common practice in Russia for groups of people to travel from house to house and sing songs known as колядки. On the Christmas Eve, some колядки were pastoral carols to the baby Jesus, while others were homages to the ancient solar goddess Kaleda. In return for their songs, the singers were offered food and coins, which they gladly accepted. In Britain there is a similar tradition, a tradition of carol singing. Carol singers can be heard in the streets as they collect money for charity.
What can you say about plant symbols?
They differ a bit. In Britain they decorate homes with mistletoe and holly and pot Christmas tree, while in Russia there is only Christmas tree. This is the very tree which has been put before the New Year's Day. The custom of decorating Christmas tree was introduced by Peter the Great after he visited Europe during the 1700s. That's why it's the same one in both countries.
Is Christmas as popular in Russia as in the UK?
Of course not. We substituted it with the New Year's Day because after the 1970 revolution, Christmas was banned throughout Russia along with other religion holidays. Thus, New Year's Day is more popular in Russia. Many Russian people listen to the president congratulations. In Great Britain, it is of course the Queen who speaks to her people, and it is done on Christmas Day. Instead of the New Year's Day, the 10-minute TV broadcast is the only time in the year when the monarch addresses her people directly. So in Russia, it wasn't until 75 years later, in 1982, that the Christmas holiday was openly celebrated.
Speaking of the New Year's Day, is it celebrated in Britain?
Yes, it is, but not as widely as Christmas is. Some people ignore it completely and go to bed there sometime as usual on the New Year's Eve. Many others, however, do celebrate it. The most famous celebrations are in London, in Piccadilly Circus, in Trafalgar Square.
The New Year's Eve is a more important festival in Scotland than it is in England, and it is named Hogmanay. The Scottish treat all the visitors on 31st of December. It is believed that the first person to visit one's house on the New Year's Day can bring all good luck. The first food must carry 3 things: a piece of coal to wish warmth, a piece of bread to wish food, and a silver coin to wish wealth.
What can you say about presents?
Oh, the tradition of present giving is common everywhere. It brings special joy and pleasure. You are sure to know the difference in the ways people present Christmas gifts. I mean socks hung by children above the fireplace in Britain and presents put under Christmas trees in Russia, not to say about gift makers, Santa Claus and Ded Moroz.
By the way, do you know about the origin of the Christmas card?
Of course, it started in Britain when Henry Cole introduced the world's first commercial Christmas card in 1843, so you can see we have much in common.
Great, thanks a lot. I guess other holidays that can be similar are religious ones, as the two nations are Christians.
Sure, take Easter for example. It is spring which marks the event of the resurrection of Christ. The difference is in the date of its celebration. The Russians are Orthodox and the British are Catholic. Catholic Christian is usually a week earlier than the Orthodox one.
What about Easter Bunny?
The bunny is a more popular symbol in Britain than in Russia. But as Russians have lately been borrowing many traditions and symbols from the West, we can now see Easter bunnies in the stores as well. Eggs, chickens, rabbits and flowers are all symbols of new life. Chocolate and fruit cake covered from marzipan show that fasting is over. In England, just as in Russia, Easter is a time for giving and receiving presents that traditionally take the form of Easter egg.
In England, children roll eggs down hills on Easter morning until they are cracked and broken, after which they are eaten by their owners. In some districts, this is a competitive game. The winner is one whose egg remains undamaged the longest, but more usually. The fun consists simply of rolling and eating. In Russia, there is also a custom of egg beating.
As you can see, the ways of celebrating Easter in Russia and in the UK are very similar. It is true reason that Russians were able to preserve these traditions so well, even though the holiday was banned during the communist times.
I see. What other holidays can unite us? Are there any?
Some words should be said about the Pancake Day or Maslenitsa. In Russia, a pancake week is called Maslenitsa. This word means butter in English. It means that many different food, including butter, may be eaten before the time when Lent comes. At present, special performances are held on Pancake Week.
In Britain, the day before Lent is known as Shrove Tuesday or Pancake Day. Shrove Tuesday is famous for pancake celebration. In some parts of Britain, there are pancake races on Shrove Tuesday. People race with a frying pan in one hand. They toss the pancake, throw it in the air and catch it again on the frying pan.
As you can see, the idea behind the holiday is very similar in both countries. However, Russians celebrate it for a week instead of a day. Maslenitsa is a very important feast for the Russians, probably because many of them choose to fast after it. Maslenitsa is a much more interesting and popular holiday in Russia than in the UK.
Nevertheless, we have much in common. Do you know that for 15 years of the holiday of Russian Maslenitsa has been widely celebrated in London? Britain has become a home hundreds of thousands of Russians. In gratitude for this hospitality, they have taken to sharing with the British what they have, rich culture and traditions.
Even the Lord Mayor of London makes his special greeting party in Russian on Maslenitsa. The whole event is accompanied by folk songs and dances. Sweet-smelling pancakes performed in Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square transforms into a bustling bazaar exhibiting and selling original Russian arts, handicrafts and souvenirs.
We are witnessing how different cultures are interacting with each other. With the collapse of the Soviet Union, with the opening of the borders, Russians started to borrow a lot from the Western culture. For the past 10 years, we have adopted such European holidays as St. Valentine's Day and Halloween. Have they become popular with the Russians?
We can say this for sure. St. Valentine's Day and Halloween are more popular with the younger generation than with adults. Children like them for their fun and special atmosphere. St. Valentine's Day gives us an opportunity to express your feeling to a person you are in love with. It is holiday for the youth, I think.
As for Halloween, it's the most scary holiday of the year. Why did it become popular? It's great for youngsters to try something new and unusual. For example, to celebrate a holiday in quite a different way. This year we have also celebrated Halloween in our class. Have a look at some photo, please. Aren't you scared?
What ideas have you got in the course of our discussion, or would you like to say something on the end of our conference?
Most of holidays in Great Britain are religious oriented to a great number of official holidays in Russia.
After the Soviet era, when many traditional pagan and religious holidays were forgotten, nowadays many people start to remember them.
We must take out our culture. It is necessary for the nation to stick to its roots and to remember it best.
Thank you, colleagues. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.